Hello Leos, and welcome to your October 2021 general reading. Be sure to check out your sun, moon, and rising signs for a more well-rounded perspective. And if you would like to have something that is more specific to your individual situation, feel free to check out the description box below for links to my website and Etsy shop. All right, let's go ahead and begin. We are starting out the month of October with some heavy 10 of Wands Pentacles. So just an overall sense of the weight of burdens, the weight of responsibilities, the weight of obligations. This feels extremely physical. This feels very much in relation to obligations as far as life, family. Family is heavy. Just what you feel is required of you to ensure certain aspects of life for yourself and your family. And I'm just really heavily tapping into that concept of Leo and Lion and the concept of pride. So there's just this overall duty to your pride kind of energy that's coming through. When I say pride, I'm not talking about the feeling of pride. I'm talking about pride as in your tribe, your family, your clan, whatever the case may be. So this is just something that feels like you have been aware of to a certain degree for a while. You have been trying to work around it in some way or another, but also trying to not have to feel like you were weighed down at the same time. So really trying to figure out, I get an overall sense of spending a lot of time up to this point trying to redistribute the weight. So if you're thinking about carrying something like this particular image here, the person is carrying that bundle of sticks and they're a little bit jumbled and kind of weirdly wrapped and tangled amongst each other, which can make it cumbersome. And I just get an overall sense that the awareness that you have had regarding these obligations, that you feel inclined to want to figure out how to meet the obligations. Along with it is the desire of trying to figure out how you can make it less cumbersome for yourself. But I feel like this is something that has been not fresh. You're not entering October with this suddenly falling on your back, so to speak. It's something that you have been struggling with, not only the awareness, but trying to figure out how you can readjust accordingly and still have everything met, but not feel so weighed down at the same time. But overall, there's a huge sense of just weightiness and cumbersomeness and just the heaviness of it all, and a struggle with trying to figure out, like I said, how can you meet these obligations, these responsibilities, and not feel quite so weighed down at the same time. So this is the overall energy I feel like we are entering the month of October with. Really, again, that whole trying to figure out how to adjust the bundle so that you can still carry it all, handle it all, not lose any aspect of yourself in the process of the adjustment, but at the same time manage to somehow lighten the sense of load that it's coming with. We have this with the Hierophant. I feel like there is overall energy of seeking outside of yourself for some clarity, guidance, and or advice. So someone who has either done this before or has some experience as far as the skill set is concerned, or just someone who can help you with the adjustment of the burden. So when you think of the Hierophant and the depiction of tradition, as well as in this particular card here, we're looking at someone who is akin to, a priest or a minister within a church. So it's not someone who's actually going to take the burden from you, but make you feel like you have support in the process, be it through spiritual means or just having someone that you can fellowship with that can help you with that particular moral support while you are still the one carrying the burden. Overall, this is just a message that you need to seek outside of yourself in some facet for a way to see this from a perspective that allows you to adjust this burden so that you're still carrying it all, but doing it in such a way, again, that it's not so cumbersome, but you also feel like you are upholding or fulfilling that which you feel you have to do for your tribe, for your clan, for your pride. So seeking outside assistance. Now, there's a select few of this that this is coming in strong, that you are supposed to be the person who is helping someone adjust their burden, and the connection is still someone within your, again, going with that Leo lion pride analogy. So there's someone within your pride. It doesn't have to be immediate family. It can be somewhat extended, but the benefits of helping this particular person helps you in the process because of your relationship with this person. So overall, seeking outside help for a select few of you, it's actually being help for someone in some degree who is struggling with those things that I was just kind of tapping into. We're following this with Knight of Wands. I feel like this is really kind of adding to that Hierophant card, that's seeking external help, being external help for someone. The act of doing, and also when you think about that concept of having a burden and carrying it, readjusting it, finding the tools that help you to bear it more. If you look at this particular image of the Knight of Wands, which is just a few cards after the Ten of Wands, this particular image has someone who has a horse. And so this is someone who has managed to find that assistance that has allowed them to still carry all of the sticks, but is in a way that it's not breaking their back to a certain degree. So there's just this really overall message, and all of the cards that I'm getting, that I have in front of me right now, is that feeling of burden, the feeling of how cumbersome and weighty it is, really trying to find means of redistributing the weight and still being able to carry all of it, and potentially even taking on more responsibility so that you can get through this pocket of your time, of your life that's seeming very heavy. Maybe get through it faster because you've managed to find tools that have allowed you to carry things faster, quicker, get through it, walk through it faster. Overall, the Knight of Wands not only is a message of kind of getting to that point where you are resourceful enough so that you feel light enough to take action, but also that message of helping, be it looking for help enough that you manage to find a way. In this particular image, the person has a horse, or if you are that person, that knight for that person who is feeling quite cumbersome, quite weighed down by the obligations of taking care of their pride, their family. At any rate, this feels more so towards the end. So the beginning of October, we have that Ten of Wands being weighed down by the burdens of things that you're facing, things that you are going through on a personal and or family level, be it personal or family, doesn't matter. It seems to be affecting your family, your tribe, your pride. Getting to a point where you seek help or are the help for that person in your life who is feeling weighed down. And this isn't so much always, this doesn't necessarily have to be that you have to take the burden. And to be quite frank with you, when this particular card comes through, it's feeling like some of you have already kind of taken on responsibility and need help. And some of you, quite a few of you notice that someone has their weight to carry and you are still struggling with your weight to carry, and you're trying to figure out if you can take on more to make this person's load lighter again, so that you can get to the other side of this as a pride, as a family is concerned. But heavy, weighty obligations, responsibilities at the beginning of the month, getting to a point, seems like somewhere around the second week of October, middle of the month, we have some energy of finding that support that helps you to redistribute that weight to some degree or adjust it to some degree, and then getting to a point where you feel like you have finally received that sense of enlightenment or managed to find the tools that allowed you to properly redistribute the weight, adjust accordingly, maybe even have an assistance, but it's still you. If you think of the horse as being an extension of the knight, still you who's carrying the weight to a certain degree as you move through this, and that feels more towards the end of the month. So essentially the Knight of Wands is letting me know, as you get to the end of the month of October, you definitely are going to be at a point of solutions that you're not just seeing as possible, but you will actually be tapping into and using. Finally, for the entire month of October, I have a Werewolf Exploring Wildness as a card to represent that. And I feel like there's just a change. There's a shift that's going to be happening within you on a personal level. You're going to be experiencing a transformation that is going to be deep within your core, but it's a positive thing. It might not feel positive at the time as you're going through it, but the end results, the shifts, the changes, structural within they're going to be internal structural changes within your being. But as a result of this, as a result of going through this, as a result of submitting to this change, there's going to be a drastic shift of you, and as a result of it, I feel like there's a shift in your strength and your power. So it's not just going to be a shift and you're going to be going from one person or one thing to another, and it's just, externally you look different or appear different to people. This is a shift that's going to really tap into reserves within yourself that you're not aware of. It's kind of like awakening a part of your DNA. And as a result of awakening this part of your DNA, forces that have always been within you as far as strength and power is concerned, it's going to rise to the surface. And so when you see that external change, the external change is actually just a representation of an internal shift that you have experienced, and really releasing something that has always been within you, but didn't have an opening before. And this process is going to give it the portal that it needs for this power and strength within you to come forward. And like I said, you're going to see an externalized representation of this particular shift. All right, Leos, that is all I have for you for this month. I hope October proves to be something that is positive for you. Be sure to check out your sun, moon, and rising for a more well-rounded perspective. And as always, if you would like to have something that's a bit more personal to you and your situation, check out the link box below for my links to my website and Etsy shop. Other than that, have a beautiful October, and we will see you in a future video.